Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to come out of lecture 12 of this. You can go to YouTube on audiobooks and then go to whatever it is, I can't remember. And it'll show you each lecture, what time that it starts. This will be 12. But like what's going on with me, I've said it before, and it's only multiplied way more. It's bigger than anything that I've ever said. I can't explain, but what we can do is read some of this literature. Okay? Giordano Bruno was a time spirit. Steiner, time spirit. The hardest thing for you to do is to throw away the names. You've got to throw away names. That's what I'm saying. All these influencers are full of shit. Every one of them's piggybacking off Steiner. All architecture, every fucking thing you see in the universities came through him, and it's been manipulated by the Jesuits. It's been rewritten and then distributed in their image. You understand? That's what fucking shadow demons really do. They sit back and observe, create valedictorianship to where they pull the smartest brain out and then put it into their fucking indoctrination camps. And then they use that brain to create more materialism. And then they flatter the goy with the brain, the homunculus, with possessions and awards and shit you put on the wall, which is fucking seals and black magic. This is about, what we're going to do is we're going to put a nail in the coffin, and we're going to finish what Steiner couldn't talk about because he wasn't here. So this is what we're dealing with in this nation and in this world right now. I'm just going to try to give you a proper term. It's called an Ahrimanic Homunculus goyim is what it is. It's an empty shell is what these humans have, these homunculus beings. I'm going to read about 2 pages and that's it. You have to stay along. Okay? Real quick. There's a few individuals that I know personally, okay, that know the truth about what's above you, not what's inside of you. They're no different than the ones in the AA rooms or NA or Celebrate Recovery. You go to these meetings and then you get just enough knowledge and then you're fixed, but you're not. You're just there. You got enough to where you're not dying anymore. And the thing is the brain they have, doesn't have it in them to go further. In AA, it talks about doing an inventory of oneself. Well, then why not do an inventory on everything? But the inventory doesn't come through that screens, and to you it would. So that's a fucking homunculus. A homunculus demon is one that's always going, hey, Google. They have created these. They've uploaded the homunculus. We're going to read. They've uploaded these brains, which are empty. There's no soul or spirit in them. This is the ingredients. They're penetrating the optic nerve, and they're programming images, thought, form, and all that shit through black magic. And so this brain is programmed into emptiness. It depends on this. See, if you put the gadgets down, those impulses that are pulling you to this device, are demons. That's what I'm saying. If I have a Bible here, and I have a tablet here, and if I'm dealing with religions, religious, whoever, okay, and they walk away, their impulses are going to be towards this, not scripture, what they're supposed to be. And then they'll go, no, I can read that in there. That's a homunculus empty being. They cannot think about, let me do a fucking inventory. Let me see, what has this really done to society? What is it created for? They can't do any of that. They'll just look at you with an empty fucking brain. But anyways, it's like I was... The ones next to me that know the truth, they won't go further. And that's the thing is when you try to say, listen, you need to at least listen to some lectures and read some stuff that Steiner has produced, not the rest of them. Because I can get into the Theosophy, Blavatsky, I can get into all the Jesuit shit and all that. I can tell you all about what's going on, but I ain't got 10 fucking hours. Okay? So when you understand he's a time spirit and he's just channeling, the time spirit was just channeling. Because if you know Steiner's work, right before he passed to the other side, he had 2 or 3 lectures going on, different ones. And then he worked in 4 or 5 more lectures for doctors, lawyers, physicians to know how to teach spirit and soul within the human being. And to never forget that shit. And that's what I'm saying. These fucking Jesuits took all that shit. It's still out there. That's what I'm saying. The homunculus brain is created with this in cartoons. So it's not fucking human. Their emotions are cartoon characters. That's it. That's it. These screens have developed a very whole, inner, weak nature of humanity. That's why they just smash the eye shit. Just smash it on the news. Just smash it. The news could say NASA gets $50 million a day. Every day, all day. And they could be standing in front of the fucking NASA things. But they don't. Because that's not the agenda. Which would make way more sense. But the homunculus, which is Ahrimanic. Because what's uploaded into the brain is demon. Demon. It's an empty fucking shell. The eyes are opened inside a hospital or a house with fucking chemicals and then a screen. There you go. It's empty. It's like it's fucking crazy. These little kids are fucking little demons. It's like, God damn, I'm in this world now. And they've been created through this. All right. It says, thus you can see from this that what we call Luciferic, in a fully technical sense of the word, also has its profound importance in our more immediate historical development. To propound as valid for our time something that was taught millennia ago means to teach a Luciferic doctrine. Seers, S-E-E-R-S, though who embrace reality, are all too easily ignored today because people do not consider it important enough to concern themselves with the content of their seership. See, when a child's like, man, I've seen some stuff, they go throw them on black magic pills with numbers on them. You see, the medical industry is Circe. It's a fucking demon. It is black magic. It is black magic. Yeah, I think I heard pills slobbering. Don't you make fun of my child. See, they upload the mama, too. It's okay. They're just going to be on pills the rest of their life. A little messenger from up there that didn't get through the grid. I've told you all about the grid. You got to listen to what this man's saying. It says, wisdom such as that in the high goal of knowledge very much addresses what we can call higher human selfishness. To concern oneself with reality, to understand and embrace it, is of less interest. Nor do we have much talent for acknowledging and esteeming those who do so when they live amongst us. We don't fucking care about what... You're crazy. You've seen 10 million movies that make fun of that. And then on the news it goes, conspiracy theorists, and they just repeat it. And you're an empty shell from day one. Anything they say is black magic. And it's fucking false. They're shadow demons. They won't come out of the fucking shadows. I can see every fucking one of them. Like you see that shit out there. I can see them. You have no idea. The fucking surveillance on me. It's for real. Shit, they have to figure out how the fuck did this happen. Let's continue. Nor do we have much talent for acknowledging and esteeming those who do so when they live amongst us. It's because you've been programmed, because you're an homunculus Ahrimanic being. As the Oriental of past ages acknowledged and revered his Buddha. We ain't going to get into that. It says, Robert Hammerling is one such figure, and in certain respects is indeed a seer or visionary, and the greatest modern poet of Central Europe. Your lyrics are poetry. If you want to know real black magic, go to death metal like Morbid Angel, that's the name of the group, and go to the song Nothing Is Not, and Google the lyrics. And then Google the song Mephistopheles that Steiner talks about by a band called Deicide, Deicide, and go read the lyrics. Even listen to the song called Mephistopheles. Listen to it and read those lyrics. That's where these Black Path magicians are hiding. See, they created everything out here so they can hide behind that. That's the veil. It's all materialism, Ahrimanic fucking demons is all it is. It's all their weapons to create this materialism, to make you absorbed in materialism in your head and your heart and soul, spirit and everything. So when you go over, everything detaches into their realms and you're controlled and tortured forever. It's beyond real. Remember, your impressions, just like the ones around me, they won't fucking listen. It's like, here, study on this for about 6 months. No, I'm going to go over here and go through Instagram and see, that's Ahrimanic. Ahrimanic represents deception. So if you were taught at a young age to look at something and to say, am I being deceived right now? Or if you could project on impulses. If I assert this impulse right now, am I going to end up in jail? If I assert this, no, it's not like that. These beings of homunculus Ahrimans, they're uploaded with this, and then that's why there's so much fucking, and that's why the news is like, it's because they created a homunculus demon. And these screens throw the impulses in there, and then these demons react to that. The same way that the sunlight hits stuff like this is a reaction of that. So the reaction of implanted demonism is to fucking destroy the world because they created homunculus demons. We're going to read something. We'll get there and it'll blow your mind. Whatever question you did have, you never will have one again. You got to get into this fucking lyrics of the death metal. Go to Dune, the movie Dune. At the very beginning, he says that something or voices or something from the deep, from the outer world, and he's throat singing. Before they go to war, they're putting blood on their fucking pineal gland and throat singing, and Kate is channeling throat. It's the same as it is. Death metal was just created, all of it's fucking garbage. It's all black magic, but it's really where the fucking black magic poetry is. It sure is. So, he says, Robert Hammerling is one such figure and in certain respects is indeed a seer or visionary and the greatest modern poet of Central Europe. I do not wish to speak about Robert Hammerling's poetry or philosophy in general here. You can read more about this in his book I referred to, which is soon to be published. I would just like to highlight how Hammerling's gift of vision has proven its worth in a thorough perception of what is happening in the world today. He demonstrated his seership, his visionary gift, in a great satirical epic, Homunculus, that was published shortly before he died. What kind of poem is this? Well, I won't read it to you today. You can, of course, read it for yourself. I wish only to show you how we can understand the ideal of the homunculus, homunculism in modern terms. We have amongst us, I don't mean specifically here, but in society in general, and if they were here, then naturally those present would be exceptions. People who believe that the scientific mode of thinking is the only valid one and all our views should be founded on it, that everything must or can be explained in scientific terms. Accordingly, they reject everything that is either not explained or cannot be explained scientifically, regarding it as phantasm and dream, mysticism and occultism. Such people exist, of course, and they assume that everything is subject to mechanistic and material laws. That's an Ahrimanic Homunculus. Instant answer. Wikipedia tells you everything. That's what I'm saying. These people run around, they don't have nothing in their head. including all mental and spiritual phenomenon and experiences. They too are subject to material, mechanistic laws of matter and energy. Well, naturally, one can conceive such a thing. But the world as pictured by a materialistic thinker cannot be real. In such a world, even the smallest plant would not develop, not alone an animal or human being. But still, we could ask what kind of human being would arise if the world was as believed to be by those who acknowledge and admit only scientific ideas. Science did that. Science did that. That's black magic. What would such a person be like? So he's talking about before generations into AI, into screens. He's giving it to you. What would it be like if a human being was never given anything true, ever? What would such a person be like? He would, of course, have been engendered by a world of purely mechanistic laws, and there would be no mysteries involved. Hammerling answers this question with artistic, poetic power, presenting in his homunculus a person who would inevitably exist if there were only a materialistic world. A little man, a homunculus. And this homunculus achieves a good deal. If you recall various things I have said in recent lectures, you will see that the brain, in some respects, a mechanical instrument, and could arise from mere mechanisms, which is billboards, hospitals, all that. That's programming the brain. The brain could therefore engender cleverness. Such a person could be terribly clever and could place himself with extreme whatever into this mechanistic world order. Hammerling's homunculus is very clever and well able to handle and combine all the things that arise in the world. He launches a global newspaper, which is possible, of course, in a world in which the homunculus thrives, where one can be a great newspaper magnet to a newspaper created by Black Path. You give headlines, flatline, headline, that all has to do with your blood. So when you read a black magic headline, that gives you thought. Instead of looking at a sunrise, that gives you thought. 2 being spirit, 2 developing soul, 1 demon, 1 angelic. Okay, and it says, the homunculus also becomes a billionaire. Not just a millionaire, but a billionaire. That is also perfectly feasible in a world devoid of spirit. Thus things continue. He founds a school for monkeys because, based on materialistic Darwinism, he naturally believes that human beings are descended from apes. That's a homunculus. That's what they teach, which is a fucking lie. And therefore, if you teach apes properly, give them formal schooling, they will naturally turn into human beings. Their evolutionary journey is shortened by this means. The section about the ape school in Hammerling's homunculus is really excellent. He also shows the position adopted by people such as journalists. All this can happen in a world of homunculism. We can really say that Hammerling wrote with visionary insight in the 80s of the last century. 1880s. For naturally there would also be airships in the homunculus world. Much better ones perhaps than we have so far, which is everything you see, since our old views still hamper things somewhat, or do so at least in the opinion of some. Hammerling's homunculus builds himself an airship. He was writing in the 80s, as I said, but unfortunately when he sets out into the cosmos in it, he is caught up by the universe's powers of attraction, by cosmic gravity, and drawn by mechanical forces into space. So when you go out into the evening and look up very carefully, you may spot a tiny wreck in the far distance, and that is homunculus on his shattered spaceship. He is still clinging to its last few spars, slowly merging with the mechanical forces. Hammerling's homunculus is founded on reality and is written with a real visionary gift. Of course, the world that the homunculus imagines does not exist, but people can't allow their thinking to conform to it, and at least for a while, for an era, can establish homunculistic thinking. In Hammerling's view, homunculism is making headway and taking hold of people. People cannot make nature soulless, for it retains its soul, but they can make themselves soulless. In Homunculus, the man without a soul also finds a soulless wife, and his perception and knowledge, to which soul and spirit find no entry, make him a soulless man. Okay, now listen. When you think of marriage, marriage is not real under a government. That's only a corporation. That means you pay money to be married. So an impression is that. Okay? The homunculus is what they're saying. What he's saying is this. Is created with an empty brain. That's the whole thing is there's no soul in there. There's no soul in this being. We're dealing with homunculus Ahrimanic beings. Okay, these beings cannot see what they do to themselves. They never see commercials saying, hey, we're going to do better. It's always diabetes commercials, huge slurpy drinks, fast foods, and all that. So that's in the brain as being a reality. And those are scripts written out by Black Path magicians to drive you to the brand so you'll eat the chemicals to create the homunculus being. You sit in front of a box called news, and it penetrates the optic nerve, running through your nervous system into the pia mater of your brain and charging thoughts into a false reality, creating a spirit and soul solely dependent on exterior possessions. Possession, in a sense, is black magic. So, with that being said, that's why there's so many dis-eases in the brain with these older homunculus beings. Not humans. These are homunculus. They're just sitting there. All they've ever done is ate out of a wrapper or a drive-through. None of these generations have true spring water. None of them. These beings in these schools now, water never was taught. You're made of water. It's not taught. You're given billboards and sodas. And then chilled teeth. So when the teeth are coming in, your ether body, when it's coming in, which Saturn's coming in, it's going to be all fucked up. So that body is mentally challenged. So the same way you see a physical mentally challenged individual is the same way your ether body is mentally challenged and your astral body. Your physical being, like was said, was you're clever, you're perfect, but that's a Ahrimanic being created from day one and from here. Look. There's none of this. No, none of that shit. None of it. You go buy stuff and kill it all. That's Ahrimanic. And see, and that's the whole thing is all these billboards and signs represent signets, seals. They represent forces, which are demons. And all those demons are absorbed into the subconscious. And that's what I'm saying. Our blood is used here. I mean, you need to think about it. Whenever they want to, when there's something going on the other side, long story short, they'll send an impulse through here and through their coliseums where there's a shit ton of people to where they can get an instant jolt through all life forms that have to do with the blood, because the blood has to do with soul. And then all that shit, that emotion, which is fake, through this Ahrimanic Homunculus is harnessed, and then it's used on the other side. Sure is. And like what I mean by this land, America, is going to be a third world country eventually. It's just this, we can give you gematria, but see, you don't know what that is, and that has to do with the combinations up there. It's like what's going on with him, he's done went over it with you. We can go to these books that these demons put out. But these homunculus will come at him and say, that's Satan. That's Satan. See, when Steiner was doing what he did, that spirit in him, okay, over in Europe, the Jesuits were all around him, okay? What's in him is telling people, you're going to have to put the work in, which any creator of a God would tell you the same thing. So he's trying to get you more involved with spirit and soul, with nature and everything. And these Jesuits are creating Christianity where it is now. So they're circulating in their newspapers, because it's Satan, that, you know, that Jesus or God's not that hard. You just have to have faith. And that's Ahrimanic. Because see, when you just say, I got faith, and then you go run to the material world, which is Ahriman. See, over here, the time spirit of Steiner is telling the idiots, look, you're fucking being tricked by Satan. Generationally, now, you're crazy. You're crazy. And they're all these little Blues Clues, Thomas the Train, black magic scripts. That's all they are. That's it. I'll never forget it. We were out of town somewhere, and there was like 3 girls next to a fence. Like, what are these fucking girls doing over here? They was out of the shade, in the shade of the fence. But they were all standing there doing selfies. And we were working, and look, this is no shit. For probably 2 hours straight, they just sat there doing fucking selfies. Man, can you not see that? You really fucking think you're put on this earth to hold a gadget and to sit there and go, that's an Ahrimanic demon. And I don't know why that sticks with me. I guess it was because, you know, my daughters, I don't know. It's just, I'm like, God, I hope to God. But see, there's no chance now. You have all these generations of homunculus that have graduated with fucking nothing in their brain. Nothing. Now they've made up, you know, no child left behind. It don't matter. Just pass them. Well, that's to push more of the ignorance. Think about it. They've got robots working in these plants now. That's kind of fucked up, because if one's somewhere, then that means a citizen's losing money. But yet there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions now, that have taken jobs. So this homunculus being, it can't see that. It can't see how Walmart wiped out all the other fucking stores, black, white, and brown. Fuck you, you're done. Started out with cashiers. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's the self-checkout now. But we still have checkout people. Now they're all gone. There's jobs. So eventually it'll be to where there's no more fucking checking out. There's sensors everywhere. There's no more stealing. There's none of that shit. You're going to go in there and come out, but you're going to have a shot. Yeah, you can go drink 80 Pepsis a day, die almost heart attack, strokes, everything else from what you eat and drink. Get a shot. You can go in there and get you some food. You can be the best fucking, it's what I'm saying. That's homunculus. Saturn represents Walmart. Walmart, the medical, every pharmacy, all that, the stores, they're all black magic departments. See, in black magic, you have to do a ritual called license to depart. License department is what it's really called. Yeah, and you banish these beings, and you tell them to be obedient and to obey until they're called forth again. So you go get a license, and you have to be obedient, or you'll lose your license, whether you're a doctor, you're driving, you're a lawyer, or whatever. You see what I mean? I can really, 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 really scare the fucking shit out of you and tell you how deep it is. Like it's so much that I'm trying to tell you, even what you have won't allow it into you. You watching this and me being here is no accident. I can tell you that right now. It was all planned a long time ago. Because there's certain things, you'll hear them in their Frankenstein movies talk about homunculus and all that, but it's us. It's actually us. It's us. And and I've done, the more you get into the ether and astral and your ego and your physical body and the stages, Saturn, Sun, Moon, Earth, and how each one was developed, true evolution. I'm thinking back, my teeth were crooked. coming in, and that has everything to do with Saturnian energy. That's what I'm saying. It's like these forces, if a child goes during that time when the teeth are coming in, those Saturnian forces are not wasted. They go to the other side. But now you've got these fucking shadows that I'm telling you about, okay, that can harness this power, we'll say, and then use it in their sphere. And I just want to be very clear with you right now. You maybe have read or heard enough of his lectures to where you've, even some of the other ones, like Blavatsky has mentioned it, talking about how they've done rituals in some of these lodges. Lodges are churches too. And they were going to talk to spirits, but they were talking to the dead, and they were fucking trapped. So if it's in their books, then I can get away with saying this. These churches are controlled at the top, and when a church wants a symbol, they have to order it through things. And these symbols are black magic. These symbols that these lodges, churches get are put up. Okay, depending on where you're at, when certain ones go in these structures to bring the con of an aggregate together, congregation, sacrifice the person, okay, that they're imprisoned. See, in order to keep that group together more, and then they'll throw a picture up of that individual. Well, this is where you got to know about the sheath that you'll discard when you go over. And these sheaths, these demons that can't incarnate, they inherit these sheaths of the one gone. So these churches can do fucking rituals to where they're saying they're having a ceremony for so-and-so, but they've really got their own demon in this sheath that represents their family member. So the ceremony's not for the family member, it's for the demon that inherited the sheath. Every church. Every one of them. And including the schools too. They're loaded with the fucking the symbols. It's all fucking prisms though. A prison is a prism. It's what it is. You know, it's very easy. Even the courthouses, goddamn, those are fucking chamber of commerce, chamber. Why we have a word chamber? It's like commerce means materialism. And see, when you set up a structure right here, this is commerce, or this is chamber of commerce in these little towns that I can tell you so easy. You know, what's that? This is going to be a chamber of commerce. Give it 20 years, there's new people in there working. They've been around it forever. They'll never question it. And then you're 7 generations into it. Now the whole community's fucking stores, brands, restaurants. There was nothing there 40 years ago. It's there now. Cool. So what we did, there wasn't no railroad track. Bam, there they are. Now you got supplies. Now start building out. And then we just connected all the towns just like a... It's fucking so stupid easy. It's not even funny. And it's just like, that's why I have a hard time doing some of these videos, because, you know, I'm really, what's in me is really against it. Really. And it's not just that it's against it. It's, I don't have the words, man. I really don't, and I wish I could, you know, but I need to do a video on gematria and just show you some of the terms and agreement. That's black magic. It has to do with demons. It's what it is. And these terms will blow your mind right off. Yeah, it's all satanic gematria. I love you.